My pal, listen cautiously, because what I am approximately to show will stir something deep within your spirit. There are individuals who've attempted to wound you. People who lied, betrayed, ridiculed, and walked away while you wished them maximum. They accept as true what they could scouse, borrow your peace, derail your future, and bury your call beneath shame. But God witnessed all of it. He heard every false whisper. He counted each tear that fell, and he recorded it in his e-book. Now the identical God who watched your quiet suffering is standing up in your behalf. They're dropping what they built because they touched what becomes sacred. Now, not due to the fact you needed them damage, but because God defends what belongs to him. While you cried in silence, they mocked you. Whilst you attempted to maintain yourself together, they ridiculed your faith. While you did properly with a sincere heart, they exploited your kindness. But they'd no idea that the one they mistreated became chosen. They did not understand that once they reached to damage you, they came towards the guard of the Almighty, and whoever opposes what God has blessed will continually fall quick. You see, folks that harm you failed simply harm someone, and they mission divine authority itself, and no person wins a battle in opposition to God. Every now and then he permits the wicked to upward push for some time, not due to the fact he favors them, however due to the fact he is making ready the stage for his or her fall. He permits them to climb high enough in order that once they crash, everybody will recognize who truly carried his desire. You may no longer see it, but God is operating silently, dismantling each fake basis built on lies. Those who attempted to destroy your name are looking their own popularity fade. People who attempted to scouse, borrow your peace at the moment are losing sleep. Folks that mocked your religion are dealing with storms they can't provide an explanation for. Due to the fact while God says, "Do not touch my anointed," he means it. A number of you've got puzzled why everything seems to disintegrate for individuals who wronged you. It's now not twist of fate, it is consequence. God is a God of justice. You failed need to combat lower back. You didn't need to defend yourself. You didn't should curse them. God noticed your staying power, your tears and your silence, and now he's responding for you. They may be losing possibilities, dropping peace, losing support, and losing the consolation they constructed with the aid of misusing you. That's no longer your revenge, it is God's correction. Due to the fact when a person harms an infant of God, destruction finds its manner to their very own door. You notice, when God blesses someone, that blessing includes divine protection. You may appear quiet, humble, and not noted by using the sector. However, heaven knows your well-worth. And while someone rises towards you, heaven rises too. God never forgets individuals who walk faithfully, even if others betray them. You are not forgotten. Every season of ache was visible through the one who searches hearts. And even as you had been studying persistence, God began making ready justice. While you had been growing in silence, he changed into writing your recovery story. Folks that caused you ache are about to understand that nobody can touch what God has anointed and escape untouched. God's justice may not come at once, but it constantly arrives in perfection. He doesn't need your assistance to find all of us his wrongs. He actions in his personal timing and his own divine method. A number of people who mocked you will return looking for your mercy. Others who once boasted in their strength might be humbled until they consider how they mistreated you, and you won't have to protect yourself due to the fact your peace will testify for you. Your calm presence will show that God became with you the entire time. Their downfall will serve as evidence that no weapon aimed toward God's selected ever succeeds. There have been folks who believed they might stroll over you due to your kindness. They mistook your silence for weakness, your humility for lack of know-how. But God saw it all. He observed how they twisted your words, how they took advantage of your top coronary heart for his or her own gain. Now God is popping everything around. The very power they used against you is now operating towards them. The same traps they set are ultimate around their personal fee. God by no means overlooks the ache of the harmless, and he never lets cruelty move unpunished. It could take time, however fact usually rises and justice usually arrives. Folks who mocked your ache will someday regret ever touching you. Do not problem yourself with how God will cope with them. Hold your focus on your path, because whilst their losses unfold, your benefits are being arranged. You cannot deliver revenge and anticipate your heart to preserve peace. Permit God deal with him whilst you keep ahead. Their fall is not your triumph. It is God's justice. Your true victory is the serenity that comes when you release all of it and permit God to show his electricity. The same folks that attempted to break, you'll witness God rebuild you more potent than earlier than. They idea your tale was over, but God became only beginning your subsequent chapter. And when his blessings overflow, folks who wronged you will watch silently. They will see doorways swing open that they tried to seal. They'll see people have fun you who once not noted your presence. They'll see God's light shine so brightly through your existence that they may ought to admit, actually God become with them. You might not need to show whatever. Your peace might be the proof. Your increase, the proof. Your transformation, the testimony. This is how God works. He does not just protect you, he exhibits his glory via you. Folks who sought to spoil you thought their affect gave them electricity. However, God does not want crowds to shield one devoted heart. He is enough. He can deliver down an empire for the sake of one believer. He can shake international locations to defend the one who calls his name. So whilst you see folks that mistreated you begin to lose what they constructed, do no longer gloat with satisfaction. Have fun with humility, for you have got witnessed the potent hand of God circulate. You have seen that the only who fights for you never slumbers. The only who guards your soul never forgets. And the only who rules from heaven is aware of precisely whilst to act. The actual lesson is not that they fell. It's which you were covered. You had been never forsaken, by no means omitted, in no way forgotten. Even if it seemed they had received, God become quietly placing the stage to your comeback and your recovery. He allowed them to the touch your call, so he ought to prove that nothing can taint what he has selected. He allowed them to throw dirt at you, so he should reveal how he brings splendor out of ashes. That's why you have to never question the timing of God. When he delays, it is no longer rejection, it's coaching. And when he moves, the whole lot transforms in an on-the-spot. A few humans lose the entirety, no longer due to the fact God despises them, but because he needs to expose them the weight in their actions. Their loss becomes their lesson. Their pain will become their correction. This is why you must hold bitterness out of your heart. God's justice is not supposed to make you proud, but thankful, for it reminds you that he defends you, so you never ought to combat alone. Whilst you belong to God, your enemies wreck themselves by coming towards you. Their words turn lower back on them, their plans disintegrate, and their hearts develop uneasy. Peace cannot live in a heart that harms the innocent. Prosperity cannot continue to be in a house built on deceit. Advantages cannot rest on palms that wound others. Whenever a person tried to destroy you, they were digging their very own pit. Every lie became a snare for their very own spirit. Each scheme had become the purpose their global began to crumble. The maximum powerful component you can do is keep your coronary heart pure. Do not pay off evil with evil. Do not waste power proving yourself to the ones decided to misunderstand you. Permit your peace do the speak me. Let your growth be the proof. Let your patience be the loudest sermon they may ever listen. Because when they see you status, smiling, thriving and flourishing in spite of all they did, they'll all are aware of it wasn't threat, it become God. A number of you are nevertheless asking while justice will come. Hear this. It is already unfolding. God isn't blind. He is affected person. He offers area for repentance earlier than he acts, but when he actions, nobody can prevent it. People who abused your kindness will face the emptiness they created. Those who tried to take what become yours will watch their very own advantages fade. For God's machine of justice never fails. Whatever one squibbles that they shall additionally achieve. You planted faith, humility and perseverance. You'll acquire peace, choose and overflow. They planted deceit, vanity and damage. They may acquire the harvest of their personal doing. This is divine order. That is the justice of God. You see, his punishment would usually roar through thunder or flame. On occasion it comes quietly through the loss of peace, via sleepless nights, through doors that now not open. Their hearts become stressed whilst yours remains nevertheless. It's why you don't need to wish them harm. Existence itself will educate them. God is aware of the way to reach every heart, and when the time is right, he can turn their laughter into silence, their delight into humility, and their cruelty into remorse. You will stand there now not with conceitedness, but with calm strength, knowing God has made matters right. Whilst God lifts you up, he would do it in mystery. He blesses you brazenly, in order that folks that tried to interrupt you will witness his glory unfold. Your peace will communicate louder than any protection. Your achievement will declare that God continues his promises. And your persistence will show that what becomes supposed to spoil you certainly fashioned you. This is why you have to preserve strolling in righteousness. Do not permit their downfall distract you from your future. Allow God to address the justice whilst you consciousness at the increase. The identical God who defended you in private is now getting ready to honor you in public. They're losing plenty, not due to the fact you wanted it, but due to the fact divine justice demands balance. God cannot be mocked, bribed, or deceived. He discerns each cause and weighs every coronary heart. He is aware of who smiled whilst betraying you, who lied with self-belief, and who attempted to use your silence as a weapon. And in his time he exposes it all. But while they lose floor, you advantage strength. While they struggle, you ascend. At the same time, as they fade, you shine. For what God ordains for you cannot be stolen by way of jealousy or erased with the aid of hatred. The ache they brought about have become the seed of your transformation. Their rejection opened the door in your elevation. What they intended for evil became your training. God used the betrayal to refine your discernment, the lies to deepen your faith, and the losses to educate you accept as true with. Now you stand more potent, wiser, calmer, and toward him. That is the proper victory. Due to the fact, even as they lose what is temporary, you've got received what is eternal peace, knowledge, and divine prefer. There comes a turning point in each existence while God begins to split reality from deception, loyalty from betrayal, and sincerity from manipulation. It's whilst individuals who seem effective begin to disintegrate, and those who walked humbly with God start to rise. God will by no means permit injustice to stand for all time. He's going to never permit the righteous remain shamed while the depraved rejoice falsely. The wheel of divine justice may additionally turn slowly, however it in no way stops. And when it actions, it shifts everything. God isn't always mocked. He isn't missing. He isn't silent. His quietness isn't always weak spot. It's Miles' divine strategy. He allows evil to reveal itself so that after he acts, all and sundry will recognize his hand has moved. A few people failed and recognize that when they harm a child of God, they entered risky ground. You have been in no way simply every other goal. You are underneath divine safety. They notion they could lie, betray, or take what belonged to you without outcome. However, they did not see the invisible shield God placed round your lifestyles. Every word spoken against you changed into spoken against his cause. Every lure dug for you became recorded by way of the one who sees all. And now the one's equal traps are eating them due to the fact no person can fight towards God's will and remain standing. Apprehend this fact deeply. Your ache became never wasted. The tears, the sleepless nights, and the lonely hours have been never meaningless. They have been divine coaching. God allowed sure human beings to betray you, no longer to break you, but to unfasten you from what couldn't follow you into your subsequent season. He accepted rejection, so you could stop depending on human validation. He allowed the ache so your faith could be refined, tested, purified, and made unshakable. So at the same time as others are losing the whole lot for harming you, you are gaining the whole thing through the energy of endurance. God's justice isn't always just about punishment, it's about transformation. He corrects the corrupt and promotes the trustworthy. By no means overlook that his timing is faultless. At times it could look like folks who wronged you are thriving, that their deception is winning. However, keep in mind, God by no means rushes his justice. He offers them time to repent. Yet when that point runs out, no person can hide from the results. They'll lose relationships, influence, peace, or even path. Their foundations begin to collapse due to the fact God himself is dismantling what turned into built on lies. And as they fall, you upward push, no longer with vanity, however with calm assurance, because God's want would not need noise. It radiates. It moves quietly but powerfully, starting doors that no person can close and restoring everything that becomes stolen from you. There are moments while God lets you witness the autumn of folks who harm you, not for revenge, however to show the load of his safety. He wants you to keep in mind that vengeance belongs to him by myself. You did not need to curse them. You failed to need to fight again. Your simplest assignment became to stay nevertheless, to trust, and to preserve your heart clean. God would not want your anger. He calls for your obedience. The electricity of your silence have become your greatest testimony. At the same time as they talked, you prayed. At the same time as they schemed, you waited. And now heaven has spoken for you. That is why bitterness ought to by no means discover a home for your heart. Allow God's justice train you compassion, and permit your victory mirror his strength. His ways are better than ours. From time to time he lets in folks who hurt you to prosper for a season, simply to test your endurance. He shall we their names echo while yours fades to look, if you nonetheless accept as true with his plan. However, when the appointed hour comes, he reverses it all. The spotlight shifts, the tables flip. The one who changed into mocked will become the one who is honored, and the one who rose through deceit falls silent. That is divine order. God in no way forgets folks that stayed faithful while faith turned into hardest. He in no way overlooks the tears of the sincere. Even to your lowest valley, whilst you thought you were on my own, he was getting ready a more table for you. And whilst you finally reach it, folks that laughed at your ache will realize they mocked what God changed into perfecting. By no means underestimate how far God will go to guard what belongs to him. He'll sever connections, put off humans, close doorways and reveal lies, thinking about your safety. On occasion, the loss you feared changed into your liberation. From time to time, the individuals who left have been never intended to live. Every so often, what felt like a curse was divine protecting. So whilst others are losing the entirety for hurting you, recognize this. Their downfall is your launch. God needed to clear the space round you so his blessings should drift freely without obstruction. He's purifying your environment, putting off anyone not able to hold the load of your destiny. Hear me clearly. God's justice is by no means petty. It is intentional. He does not destroy to entertain. He gets rid of to rebuild. Whilst human beings mistreat you, they may be writing their personal prophecy. And while that moment of reckoning comes, they'll don't forget each seed they planted. You won't want to remind them. Their moral sense will talk. Their peace will vanish. Their joy will fade, and their self-belief will collapse till they understand that what they did to you wasn't merely incorrect. It changed into rebellion towards divine order. And that recognition will humble them deeper than any punishment may want to. Because nothing humbles the coronary heart like divine correction. And you, the one who survived the hurricane, God isn't always simplest restoring what you lost. He's elevating your lifestyles to a better stage. The pain you continued have become the soil of your strength. Each heartbreak planted understanding, every betrayal planted discernment, each loss planted gratitude. It really is why you ought to in no way remorse what passed off. It hurt, sure. However, it was holy due to the fact God wasn't simply protecting you from them. He became protecting you from turning into like them. He turned into shaping your spirit through trouble, teaching you a way to rise without bitterness, to win without delight, and to like without worry. This is the sort of energy that can by no means be taken away. Now, as individuals who wronged you face the harvest of their choices, you should stroll with humility. Do no longer gloat or say they got what they deserved. As a substitute, claim God is righteous in all his approaches. This isn't about your vindication. It's approximately his glory. Whilst he blesses you in front of individuals who hurt you, it's to demonstrate that he never forsakes the harmless. It is to remind the sector that integrity nonetheless subjects, purity still wins, kindness continues to be shielded, and people who walk with God can by no means be defeated. Let your life preach the sermon they do not want to pay attention. Let your peace show that God is alive, aware, and sovereign over all. A few may also try and go back after they see your success, talking kindly, now not from repentance. However, from remorse. Be discerning, forgive, but in no way reopen the doors God has closed. A few lessons are lifelong protections. Whilst God eliminates a person, it's due to the fact they have got already shown they can't handle your spirit. In case you invite them lower back, you invite turmoil returned into your peace. Love them from afar. Pray for them truly. However, protect your obstacles fiercely, because your peace is sacred and must be blanketed like treasure. God restored it for a reason. And for the ones nonetheless stressed by way of ache, looking ahead to restoration, be affected person. Recovery may not be short, however, while it is from God, it's whole. He is mending your coronary heart. Even now, every silent prayer you whispered within the darkish became heard. Every sigh, every pain, every sadness, he recorded all of them. And while the moment is right, he'll launch a chunk so profound that the wounds which as soon as broke you may handiest be remembered, because the proof of how deeply you were cherished by way of God. Due to the fact whilst God completes his work, he doesn't just erase pain, he transforms it into purpose. Don't forget this truth. It's far, far higher to be the only who was wounded than the one who induced the wound. For the coronary heart that suffers in righteousness is shielded by heaven, but the hand that harms the harmless invites destruction upon itself. You can have walked through fire, but you emerged subtle. They will have walked in delight, but they may emerge empty. This is the distinction among those who walk with God and those who resist his will. One unearths peace, the alternative reveals loss. However, you, my friend, are being placed for a new bankruptcy. One no betrayal can block, no jealousy can scouse borrow, and no enemy can save you. There comes a divine moment when God attracts a boundary between what turned into finished to you and what he's making ready for you. That boundary separates your past ache out of your coming cause. It divides folks who mocked your fall from folks who will witness your upward thrust.